Hi students, let us see this question. So there was an alkyl halide given which undergoes Hofmann elimination and forms Q. Q in the presence of HBr gives rise to R. Anyway, Q in the presence of HBr by peroxide gives rise to S. And they are asking us to find out, give the order of rate of SN2 for PRS. And there were 4 options given as usual. Now let us check this reaction. First of all, let us see what is Hofmann elimination. In E2 mechanism, we have got 2 kinds of rules. Sedgwick's rule or Hofmann's rule. What is Sedgwick's rule? So beta hydrogen from the carbon whichever is containing less number of hydrogens, if it is eliminated, we do get more stable, more conjugated alkene. That is Sedgwick's product and Sedgwick's rule for E2 elimination mechanism. So I will repeat it once again. Understand it carefully. We should eliminate beta hydrogen from beta carbon containing less number of hydrogens. Then we get surely more stable, more conjugated alkene as a major product. In some unavoidable circumstances, when the leaving group is bulkier, when the attacking nucleophile is bulkier and it cannot attack the beta carbon or beta hydrogen from beta carbon with less number of hydrogens, in that cases we do follow Hofmann elimination. Hofmann elimination product we get, remember the condition, when there is bulkier attacking nucleophile or bulkier leaving group, as that nucleophile cannot attack the beta hydrogen of beta carbon with less number of hydrogens, it would go for attacking beta hydrogen from beta carbon containing more number of hydrogens. Here, if you observe in the question, it was given that there is some alkyl halide mentioned and whichever is bonded to any functional group. Now here function or properties of the organic compounds depends on Cl bonded to it. Here we can surely say that this is beta carbon and this is also beta carbon. In Sedgwick's product, this beta hydrogen should be eliminated because this beta carbon is containing less number of beta hydrogens. So to get Sedgwick product, we should abstract this beta hydrogen to get the elimination product. But we are saying that it undergoes Hofmann elimination. It is already given in the question itself. So we have to remove beta hydrogen from beta carbon with more number of hydrogens, although we will get less stable alkene itself as a major product. So in this case, we have to abstract beta hydrogen from beta carbon with more number of hydrogens itself. So we can say that here hydrogen is eliminated and here Cl is eliminated. When hydrogen and Cl are eliminated, we do get a double bond over here. So what is the elimination product produced here? We can clearly see that Hofmann elimination product is from here Cl minus and from here H plus is removed and we will get a dehydrohalogenation occurring. So we will get a double bond over here. This is Hofmann elimination product. So once again I will repeat that Hofmann elimination means we have to abstract beta hydrogen from beta carbon containing more number of hydrogens and of course we get less stable alkene itself as a major product. So this is Hofmann elimination product. So this is Q. And already it was given that this is considered as P, this is Q. So we can remember what is P and what is Q. Q is an alkene produced. So Q, when it is treated with HBr, it produces R as a product. Q, when it is treated with HBr in the presence of peroxide, it produces S as the product. Now we have to check that what were the products produced as R and S, and we have to give the order of rate of SN2 for P, R, S. So why they have given only for P, R, S, why not for Q is P is an alkyl halide, R also will get an alkyl halide, S also will get an alkyl halide. In that alkyl halides where order of rate of SN2 would be easier, we have to check that. So let us see what is the R product and what is the S product now. Now remember that this is Q. Now we will see how R is produced. So what is the Q produced in the first reaction? We have got CH double bond CH2. Now this treated with HBr. When it is treated with HBr, alkenes of course undergoes electrophilic addition mechanism. So here we can see that CH3, CH3, H bond CH double bond CH2 in the presence of H plus, it leads to the formation of, when this is attacked by this, we can see that here we will get a carbocation. So this carbocation is produced as a reaction intermediate and it is a secondary carbocation. Now this secondary carbocation, already in one problem we have discussed that also, it undergoes 1,2 hydride shift. When it undergoes 1,2 hydride shift, it leads to the formation of CH3 bond C bond CH3 tertiary carbocation as a reaction intermediate by rearrangement with 1,2 hydride shift. So by undergoing 1,2 hydride shift, it has led to the formation of tertiary carbocation as a reaction intermediate. Of course, this tertiary carbocation combines with Br minus, producing tertiary alkyl halide. Now this is R. Tertiary alkyl halide is R. So we can see that this is R produced. So R is tertiary alkyl bromide. Now remember carefully, it undergoes HBr at first due to electrophilic addition reaction. It produces secondary carbocation as a reaction intermediate. It undergoes 1,2 hydride shift to produce a stable tertiary carbocation. This stable tertiary carbocation combines with Br minus, producing tertiary alkyl halide as R. So now we have seen what is R. Now let us see HBr in the presence of peroxide, what kind of mechanism it occurs and what would be the product of S. So we have got already what is Q and what is R. Now let us see what is S and how it is produced. Now we have seen what is Q here. In the presence of HBr peroxide. Let us see what would be the S produced. First of all, HBr in the presence of peroxides. Peroxide, as this bond is quite highly unstable, this undergoes a cleavage to produce OH free radical. This OH free radical, when it reacts with HBr, it abstracts hydrogen, leading to the formation of bromine free radical. So the mechanism is with bromine free radical. When bromine free radical attacks an alkene, we can observe that what kind of changes it will undergo, and it undergoes anti-Markovnikov rule or Karash effect or peroxide effect. Let us see how it undergoes anti-Markovnikov rule or how it produces anti-Markovnikov product in the presence of, as we have seen, bromine free radical. Now bromine free radical, here we have here 2 electrons. So bromine free radical will try to attack this carbon because secondary free radical is more stable than primary free radical. So here secondary free radical is formed as reaction intermediate. Now this secondary free radical produced will try to abstract hydrogen from HBr. So it once again, when it abstracts this hydrogen, we get this as the product. CH2Br, because it has abstracted hydrogen to this carbon, so this carbon becomes CH2. Now this is S. So what is S? Primary alkyl halide. What is R? Tertiary alkyl halide. Already P was given in the question itself. P is nothing but secondary alkyl halide. So now we have clearly seen that in the presence of peroxide it undergoes anti-Markovnikov mechanism and it leads to the formation of primary alkyl halide. Now let us see how we would get what is the order of rate of SN2 mechanism. Already we know that in the SN2 mechanism, what is the order of reactivity of alkyl halides? We have seen in the previous problems also. That is primary greater than, secondary greater than, tertiary. So here, what is P? P is secondary alkyl halide. Now, what is Q? We got alkene. What is R? Tertiary alkyl bromide. What is S? Primary alkyl bromide. Right. What is the order of reactivity of SN2 mechanism? Primary greater than, secondary greater than, tertiary. Hence, by saying this, let us leave this Q because it is an alkyl, it is not an alkyl halide. For SN2 mechanism, we need to check only for alkyl halides. Now, when you check for PRS, what is the order of reactivity of SN2? Primary greater than, secondary greater than, tertiary. Because whenever a nucleophile should attack a alpha carbon from backside, if there is less steric hindrance, it would easily attack from backside. So primary, as it will have less hindrance, so surely primary will undergo SN2 mechanism more easily than secondary and tertiary. So here what would be the order? By seeing this, we can say that S greater than, P greater than R, because S is a primary alkyl bromide, P is secondary alkyl halide, R is tertiary alkyl halide. So S greater than, P greater than R would be the correct option for this question. So answer is B. Therefore, we can say that B is the correct option for this question. Check that carefully. In this, we should know what is Huffman's elimination, HBr in the absence of peroxide, how it should undergo the mechanism, as well as HBr in the presence of peroxide, it undergoes anti-Markovnikov mechanism and it forms primary alkyl halide. So, you need to understand that. So, what is the order of reactivity means these three concepts, and after knowing that, you will be taking that. So, here, remember that order of SN2 reactivity is primary greater than, secondary greater than, tertiary. Basing on that, so by taking even that condition also, by knowing four concepts only, we can get the correct answer for this question. So, we should be perfect with all four concepts. What are those four concepts? First one is Huffman's product, how it is produced. Second one is HBr in the absence of peroxide, what kind of products would be produced and what is the mechanism. Otherwise, without knowing that, you cannot get the correct R also. Next is HBr in the presence of peroxide, how anti-Markovnikov mechanism occurs. Then, what is SN2 mechanism? What is the order of reactivity of SN2 mechanism and why it has that mechanism? If you know all these concepts only, you can attempt one question. So, be careful while learning the concepts. You should understand it perfectly and then only you have to attempt a question.